This is the Hawk Central Huddle, your peek inside Iowa athletics. I'm Danny Lawhon here with Chad Leistikow, and Chad, the Hawkeyes are headed back to Tampa again for another Outback Bowl appearance. This time it's against Mississippi State, but the Bulldogs seem no less formidable than the SEC opponent that Iowa usually draws in this game. Yeah. What's the matchup look like this time for the Hawkeyes heading down to South Florida?
Yeah, it's very similar, I would say, to the last two trips to Tampa. LSU, after the 2013 season, had an epic defense. Iowa could not move the ball. They also had Odell Beckham Jr., by the way, on that team, and Jarvis Landry. And then 3 years later, against Florida, Iowa, of course, is held to 3 points. One of the more ugly bowl performances ever by the Hawkeyes. C.J. Beathard, hobbling around on that hamstring.
Good heavens.
That's an image of what the SEC defense Iowa's going to face here, because Mississippi State leads the nation, 12 points per game. They have two of the best defensive linemen in college football, and Jeffrey Simmons and Montez Sweat, both projected first-round draft picks, who will be playing in the game as far as we know at this point, according to their coach.
Well, we know that the Hawkeyes will not be having Noah Fant out on the field. He's not playing in the bowl game. He's already entered the NFL draft. As we record this, T.J. Hawkinson has just won the Mackey Award, the national honor for tight ends, and so his NFL draft stock is going to be heating up over the next few weeks as well. What do you think the situation might be there? He says he's going to play, but are we facing a real possibility that this is his last game as a Hawkeye too?
Yeah, I think it's probably greater than 50% that he's done after the Outback Bowl. Now, he said, and Kirk Ferentz said, he will start against Mississippi State, so at least you'll get one more game out of him. Yeah, I think his stock is really high right now. Don't know how much higher it can even get by staying. That said, he does love the Hawkeyes. He loves Brian Ferentz. He loves Kirk Ferentz. Frankly, he would be a great face for the program for the next year if he were to stay. Just emblematic of everything that the program wants to stand for.
Right.
So that would be a big, big loss, more so than Noah Fant, in my opinion.
The tight ends, for one reason or another, have garnered a lot of this off-the-field conversation in the past several weeks. But, they aren't the only two who have NFL aspirations and, potential to actually make a dent in the draft coming up in next spring. Is there anyone else under the radar that folks haven't been talking about who you also might want to, enjoy the minutes for them while you can?
Yeah, I think the guy I would point to there is Amani Hooker. Here's a guy that is starting to appear on All-American teams. I know those are just voting things, but that does draw attention. He's a really good football player, Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year. He's a third-year player. He's going to get NFL evaluation. So is Anthony Nelson. So is Nate Stanley. Alaric Jackson, watch out for him as well on the offensive line, second-team All-Big Ten offensive tackle. I don't think any of those four guys will go, but if anyone does, I think it would be Hooker, just because safeties usually don't get picked that high anyway. So, whether you go now or later, you're probably going to be a second to fourth rounder. So, be interesting to see. Iowa certainly does not want to lose Hawkinson, certainly does not want to lose Hooker either.
Well, we'll find out what happens until mid-January when all those guys have to make their final decisions. There's plenty of time between now and that January bowl game, so stick with us at hawkcentral.com and we'll keep you updated throughout the lead-up. Have a great week.